Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor Provenzano, Malcolm White, and City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to tell my story. In 1956, the city of Sault Ste. Marie purchased a piece of property that contained a large pond located at the corner of Florwin Drive and Shannon Road, now known as Snowden Park, next to the Shingwalk Indian Residential School. The city initially used this property to dump waste and garbage that was trucked from the city incinerator that was located in the Wellington Street East and Florwin Drive area. In 1958, then Councillor McIntyre voiced concerns regarding the dangers that this practice posed to the residents living in this area. As children passed through this dumping ground to walk to Animal Cray Public School and who also played in the area, there was no proper fencing around the pond, and the area was home to rats because of the garbage being dumped there. He was concerned about the possible liability, possible liability that this posed to the city. At the time, our family lived at 212 Shannon Road across the street from the pond. On Saturday, February 27th, 1960, my two brothers, Robert and Gerald, ages 8 and 10, respectively, were playing by the pond. Robert slipped down the 20-foot embankment and fell into the sewage garbage-filled icy water. Gerald tried to help his brother, and he fell in as well. Both called out for help, and 4 young girls from the Shingwalk Indian Residential School heard their cries for help. One helped Robert grab a floating board while another ran to a neighboring house to get help. The fire department responded as they were able to get Robert out of the pond and were able to revive him. Unfortunately, Gerald had gone under and could not be seen. A police scuba diver had to be called in to help search for Gerald. He had a difficult time trying to locate the body, taking almost an hour and a half due to the sewage and garbage-filled water. Gerald's body was recovered just as my father Charles arrived at the scene. He clapped at the sight of the scuba diver holding Gerald's body over his shoulder. Gerald was pronounced dead on February 27th, 1960, on my father's birthday. Robert was never the same since the incident. He was never taken to the hospital as seen by a doctor after the incident, even though he was unconscious for some time. While the neighborhood raised $100 to help for funeral costs for Gerald, the city of Sault Ste. Marie failed to reach out to our family for what happened on that day. The city eventually filled in the pond and created a park on the site. This accident was front page news and well covered by the Sault Star at that time. This incident shattered our family. My father started to drink heavily and became very abusive to my mother and my siblings. My mother struggled to raise 7 children on her own while mourning the loss of her son and dealing with my abusive father. There was not a lot of direction due to the situation, and the home life for the children were terrifying as well. We were all fearful of my father. In 1978, my brother Keith died at the age of 24 when he fell from a balcony to his death. In 1979, my brother David was 21 and he burned up in a house fire. In 1980, my brother John, who was 20 years old, was crushed in a truck rollover. In 2009, my father Charles passed away at the age of 86, and in 2015, my mother Edith died. She was 88. In the 70s, we made several requests to the city to have some sort of memorial erected at Snowden Park to remember Gerald. Our requests at that time were ignored by various mayors and councillors. That's pretty well my story, but I would like to extend a sincere thank you to Ed Sadowski and Irene Barbeau for the support they have provided me. Thank you to Mayor Provenzano and Malcolm White for their understanding and for the letter of apology. On behalf of the city of Sault Ste. Marie, this is the closure for my family that I wanted, and I thank you very much.